Good morning. Welcome to Alesco CTS, and in this presentation we are going to see how we can trade in MCX Copper for this week. Before looking into that, let us see what happened last week and what we expected last week. The chart which you are viewing is 1 hour chart, which means that every candlestick represents 60 minutes. So let us see what happened last week, and after that we will come to a conclusion what we can do for this week. So let us go through it. So the price opened around 431. You can see this. This is the vertical. Always this vertical dotted lines. You can see all the vertical dotted lines indicates the market opening and the market closing for the respective days. And also you can see the date below. So whenever I am placing this cursor in the any candlestick, you can see the date below at the bottom here. So last week, that is on 14th of this month, the market, copper market opened around 431, and we expected copper to stay in downtrend just because the opening price opening, which is around 431, is near the previous week low. So one point you should make a note is that market was dropping from 449. You can see the high which was created, it was dropping from 449. On the previous week, you can very well notice that from 449 the market came down till 431, and this week, that is last week, the market opened near the low, that is near the previous week's low. So we expected the market to continue its selling. If you go and watch our presentations on Monday, you can very well see that. If you are a follower and if you are a client, you would be watching this continuously. If you are new and if you are watching it new, please go ahead and watch the previous presentation, and then you can also view this. So after the price opening, you can see the market, it is a straight away steep fall. The market straight away came down and tested the major support zone of 426, and again you can see the market continuously dropped till 422, which was our first target expected zone. So the market came down and tested this 422, and it stayed here for a while, and then it tried to break this, and you can very well notice that again also the market dropped till 417.3 approximately. So you can notice that from 431 it is a straight away fall. So I am skipping all this high low open close, so we will discuss about it later. So you can just analyze the price movement from 431. It is a straight away drop. You can see if you draw a trend line connecting all this, you can see it is a very straight away drop, and the market came down till 417.3, and this 416 is again a major support. So this provided a support for the market, 417.3. Whenever we say this 416 as a support, we always say support and resistance is not a single line, it is a zone. So around 416 the market provided some support, and you can see from 417 the market bounced back till 425, and from 425 the market dropped again till 418, and from 418 it went back till 425, and it couldn't sustain or break this 425, and then it came down and dropped and closed around 420.2, which is the closing on Saturday. And if we consider on Friday, with the closing is around 421, near 421 the market closed. So when we compare the total price action, you can very well notice that you can watch from 431 the market was completely dominated by the sellers. Initially within 2-3 days it has achieved the target, and again what after happened again in the last 2 days is just a consolidation with the trend following the trend. So now we are going to analyze the market underlying structures. So you may know that the underlying market structures are open, high, low, close, and support and resistance. So all the other technical tools are derived from this. So without open, high, low, close are the pillars, and support and resistance or the floor and roof for the market structures. So we call them as a market structure. If we can master the underlying market structures, it will be very easy for us to identify how to use other technical tools. So let us identify that. So all the openings and closing are indicated by the black color box. So you can see the market opened around 431 on Monday, and the low created is 425, which is indicated, and the high and low are indicated by blue color box, and the low created was 425. You can see the opening and the high are both the same. So opening and high both are same on Monday, and it closed around 425. This is the zone where the market closed on Monday, and the next day Friday the market opened around 424.5, and you can see the low which was created was around 420.5. so approximately it was created a low around 420.5, and the next day the market on Tuesday the market closed around 421.5. If you see that on Monday the closing is much lower near the low, so you can see the opening and closing is near the low, and the next day the market opened below the previous day's closing and also below the previous day's low. That created some selling pressure and the market pushed down, and the next day also on Thursday or on Tuesday also the market closed and more or less near the zone because it was also completely dominated by the sellers. The next day price opening is also quite below the previous day's low and also just below the previous day's closing, and then the market created that caused the market initially the selling momentum was created just because you can always notice that whenever the market is pricing opening below the previous day's low, that it causes the initial selling momentum. You can see that, and that is the reason it tried to push till 417.3, and from there it gave a bounce back and created a high. You can see this high was created which was around 422.9, which is, if you can see why we are analyzing this, because this high which was created is just above the 2 weeks you can see the 2 days closing and opening and also a low. So you should make a note of this thing, which is quite important, and it closed lower because after giving a bounce back. You can see on Wednesday the market came down and it provided a bounce back, and also but it couldn't sustain this 422. So this 422 acted as a resistance. We will look after the resistance and support later. And from 430 the market opened just lower. So on Thursday the market opened around 420, but you can see the high, it was creating another new high. On Wednesday the high is around 422.9, and now on Thursday the high is around 424.25, near 425, and also the low, you can see the low is increasing. On Thursday the low is increasing and closed around 420. But on what you can notice is that after creating a high which is higher than the Wednesday's high, this is the Wednesday market high, and the Thursday market is high is a bit higher. But the point which should be noted is the closing. The closing, both the closing are same. So you can see this is the closing and opening for the next day. So we have marked this as a single box. So the closing are both are more or less the closing is neutral. And if you consider the next day opening was also, you can consider that the market opening is also more or less neutral. This is the market opening. So the market opening is just above that. Again the high created was, you can see the same high around 424.9, and you can see the closing. You can see the closing on Friday is around 421. But if you analyze the last few days of opening and high low close analysis, if we put it, you can see the opening and closing, it is slowly and steadily it is increasing 422, and the low is also just increasing, but the high is constant. You can see this 425 is the high which is going to be constant, and today we can expect the market to open more or less around 422 to 423. So today's expected price opening is going to be around 422 to 423, which is going to be above this all these boxes. You can see all the box which indicates a major high low open close box. So it is going to be, today's opening is going to be above this 422 to 423, which is going to be above that. And what we need to do is that if we expect the price to go higher, at least it should clear the zone. You can see these are the boxes which we have indicated. Just the purpose of drawing this box is to give a pictorial representation about what is high low close, so that if we can simply consider these are the major boxes which are created, which is quite important. If the price is staying above this major box, it can provide some buying momentum. And now you would get a clear picture about the open high low close. Now we are going to see what are the supports and resistance. So on seeing this price action, we can easily conclude that the market is struggling to break this 425. We can say this 425 that is marked by a black color line. You can see that this 425 is marked by a black color line, which indicates the intermediate resistance. And also if we see what are the price, which is what are the action that has happened below, it is completely that 425 causes a very clear resistance for the market, so it is not moving higher. And also since the today's price opening is going to be above this 422 to 423, what we can expect is that initially we can expect the same resistance from 425, because this resistance was provided by 426, which we have marked it earlier. Again we are saying this, always the support and resistance are not just a single line, it is a zone. It is a single zone where the market where the plus or minus 1 point can give you resistance. So in order to get some momentum, if we expect the price to move higher, the market initially should clear this major resistance, and which is also a high for few days. This resistance is not a simple resistance, because it is also a high for few days. On Friday it is a high, and also on Thursday also this high was created, and also on Tuesday the market tried to break this resistance, but it is a failure. And also Tuesday, this is high on Tuesday. That is the purpose we took into the conclusion about all the high, low, open, close. So if we expect the price to move higher, the price copper can go higher if it is going to break this 425, that is 426, which is a major resistance for copper market. So if the price is going to break this 426, and which is a major resistance, and if it can say sustain this 426, then we can say the copper can move higher. Unless until that we don't have any confirmation, because you can very well notice that this zone, you can particularly what happened last week, it created a lot of selling. So, and also one more thing which we should notice, that the price is dropping from 449 till 417.3 which is more or less a 32 point drop. It is not a single drop, it is not a simple drop, it is a 32 point drop. So you can always expect a consolidation also. So already the market has started consolidation on the last 2 days, you can very well notice that. But even in the consolidation, the market will stay in the trend. You can very well notice like this, it will give a pullback and again it will drop it later. It will show some pullback, but it will drop later. So what we can do in copper for this week is that this 422 is going to act as an intermediate support, which is going to be the major zone. Why we are calling it as a major zone? You can go ahead, you can go to the previous charts, and you can see that this 422 has provided a lot of support in the past, and this 416 is also going to be a major support for copper. But only if the copper is going to break this 425 and 426 zone very comfortably, so it can, and if we expect a closing above this zone, that closing and put all this, we can see if we have a closing above this 426, this closing is going to be above all this high, low and open close what happened in the last week. That can give us a very good clear buying momentum. And also one more thing, what it can provide is that since we are expecting copper to open around 422 to 423, which can reduce this moving average also. So we can expect, this is the moving average, this red color line, which we can take it as a support for indicating the trend. So what will happen is that if the price is going to open around 422 or 423, this average will also drop. If there is a consolidation which is going to happen, you can very well expect the market to converge near the major resistance zones of 425 to 426. What we can expect when the price is the major average zone and the major resistance zone is going to converge, so we can expect a very clear price direction there. What we are expecting is that if the price is going to consolidate below 422 to 423, we can expect this moving average to come and converge near the major resistance zone. Two things can happen if the price is going to hit the major resistance zone. One thing is that it will give you a lot of selling momentum if the price is going to stay in the sell trend. And also the other thing is that if there is any closing above this 425, if the market is informing any pattern support, which means that the market is forming at any double bottom support here, then it will get some momentum, so that we will get a confirmation that the price can move higher. Unless until then, we cannot confirm the copper can go higher. So what we are expecting for this week is that initially we are expecting copper to continue its downtrend, and the major and the major support zones are 422 and 416 and 412. If the trend continues, if the trend continues, copper can very well test this 412, which is going to be the very major support for copper market. So, and also unless until the price is going to stay above this 426, we cannot expect the market to move higher. Wait for the market to break this 426 and clearly form a pattern above, some type of pattern formation above this 426, and then we can go for buying. So this is what we are expecting in copper today. Let us see what's going to happen during the trading session. Take care. Bye.